It's Matt. I'm back. I feel like I'm on a cooking channel. And I'm back with this guitar for the third time. If you remember, I'm going to try something new. I can't really see the camera, so I'm just going to go in good faith. I've got this camera looking at me so I can talk to you like humans. And I got a camera in the ceiling. Not in the ceiling. From above. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I don't know if this will work, but this is the test. And I'm doing this episode because I got the bridge. So with this guitar, if you've watched the other episodes, I've decided that this bridge is crap. And I want to change it out before we give it away. So I bought this bridge. I'll put up a picture. Did I do that? No, that won't work. I'll put up a picture. It's a Wilkinson, which is kind of a cheap brand, but they make some okay stuff. It's like a half telly bridge. And I think it'll work. The way it strings through is actually quite clean. So I think it should be fine. And it's a 52 millimeter spacing, I believe. So it should work. But I won't know until I put it on and measure some stuff. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that now. What I'll do is take off the strings, because that's a very exciting thing to watch. What I'm going to do is take this bridge off. And hopefully this bridge sort of fits in the same area. So the thing is, when you're installing a bridge, not that many of you would be installing bridges on a day-to-day basis, but what you sort of need to do, and I didn't prepare this. Wait up, I got to get a ruler. I got a ruler. You don't need a ruler this big. Basically, you just got to make sure that if any of you have heard of a thing called scale length, and this ruler is too long. Basically, a guitar works in a particular way. I won't get into it, actually. That's boring. We've just got to make sure that the scale length that exists now, and I know it's 24 inches because it's a Mustang. Make sure that the scale length that it has doesn't change when we put on a new bridge. So I can tell that this whole pattern is completely different to this one. So fingers crossed that it hides the holes and it doesn't interfere with the holes when I drill new ones. Will I fill them up? If I can see the holes when this is off, I'm going to get a different bridge. I don't want to go around modifying things more than I need to. So I'm just cutting off these old strings, or the factory strings, right? Please note, if you're cutting off strings, they're loose. Make sure they're loose before you cut them off. You can take your old strings to a metal recycler if you like, if you're into that sort of thing, or just chuck them in the bin. Use them to cut cheese. I don't care. Do what you feel. So I'll just take these off the headstock. I don't think that the camera's on the roof is set up very well. Anyway, so most of the old strings are off, and hopefully I can show you why this bridge sucks. If I take the string off, yeah. Maybe I can do a photo later. But the strings, these things would be hell to restring as well. They're just all in the way, and they've all got a little kink in them from the it's the like in the last episode, the string goes through, it hits the bottom of a saddle, and it hits the intonation bolt, and then it goes on its merry way. and it's a recipe for disaster. So what I'll do is I'll try and just take this off. Note well, I'm not using power tools for certain things. So if you're doing guitar stuff, I think it's very stupid to use power tools for tightening. If you're tightening something up, don't use a power tool unless you've got a particularly weak sort of drill or electric screwdriver. If you've got something that's quite like weak, then it's good. You can kind of. I used to have one that was terrible, and it was the best because it would, as soon as it met any sort of resistance, it would just stop. And that's what you want, because I see a lot of guitars that people have just stripped out the holes because they used a power tool to like drill in the screw, and then once it hits the end, it just keeps going, and then you got to fill up a hole and redo it. So I will use a power drill. I'll use a drill with a little. It's a really bad drill. It's one of these cheap 12-volt dudettes. I'm not going to gender a drill, but yeah, it's pretty bad, which makes it a good electric screwdriver. So I'll use that to I'll use it to remove the pickguard, but I won't use it to put the pickguard back on, if you know what I mean. So if you're taking something off, you can use it to speed up the process. That's pretty good. But yeah, putting it back in, just don't use power tools. That's my tip for the episode, if you want to call it episode. So the bridge is off. What's going to be under? Nothing. All right. Well, that's all right. This will go into the parts drawer. I can see, part of me wants to throw this on the road right now, but the saddles are pretty good. I can reuse the springs and stuff like that. Actually, the saddles are pretty bad, but I've got a giant graveyard of parts where, somebody might come in with this guitar and they love it as is, and they just need a new bit. So, don't chuck stuff out. Just sort of keep it. Don't become a crazy hoarder, but, keep it neat. And here's the moment of truth. Will this hide the existing screw holes? Oh, it will. It will. So that's very good news. Good news for Matt. So how do I know where to drill these holes? I'm going to take a little while and measure some stuff. I can't take too long this morning. We've got a band coming into practice. We don't usually get bands during the day, but we made an exception for this band because it's the Dandy Warhols from, where are they from? Portland, I think, which is pretty cool. So they'll be here soon. I've got to attend to that. So I'm not going to rush this part. I just wanted to see if it would fit and whether it would hide the existing holes. So, I could fill up the holes, and I might just fill them with something to seal them off. But because this just has 4 big mounting screws, they won't go anywhere near the existing holes, which is great. And the scale length will meet up fine. I grabbed that long ruler, but it doesn't fit because it's too long. So the name of the game is really just to make sure that the distance from the nut to the 12th, which in this case is 12 inches because it's a 24-inch scale length. So the 12th is in the middle of the scale length, remember? So you just want to make sure that the bridge is vaguely to a point where the high E like the most treble E, is at the scale length. So these saddle bolts have got enough travel so I can make sure that that's right. You just want to, if you're positioning a bridge, you want to make sure that the high E saddle's got a bit of wiggle room either way, but that's the one where you measure the scale length to. And I think we're all good, which is very nice. So what I'll do now, so that's good news. I might get onto the wiring and stuff. So when I'm redoing the bridge, see, screwdriver. When I'm repositioning the bridge, I'll make sure that you've got to make sure that your E's are not falling off the neck, right? And I made sure that they would fit. So what I'll do is I'll mark it. I'll mark it out. Maybe I'll show you, maybe I won't. I've got to do it on a big drill press to drill the holes. Don't use one of these. Use a drill press. So you don't want to screw that one up. They've got to be perpendicular into the body. But I'll be aligning it, and it might be a bit tricky with the what do you call that? Top loader bridge. But I'll put probably some like string or cotton through the E holes, and then I can make sure that they sort of line up. They line up with the neck and they line up with the pickup pole pieces, just to make sure that when we put it back together, it's not all wonky. Because I could just sort of eyeball it and I might get it right. But if you measure it and then mark it and then think about it and then do it with string, and I do it with string instead of a string because strings need quite a bit of tension. And that'll pull your bridge forward and it'll make it hard to see what's going on. Anyway, sorry, this is a relatively early morning for me, so I'm talking like a crazy person. What I'm actually doing is I just want to see what this electronic stuff is like. I know I took it apart last week, but we're gonna redo it all because I got the pots as well. I bought PTS Precision Audio Taper. They're a bit long, so I might go through my box and see what else I got. But moment of truth. Oh, so that's the body. Oh wait, I've got that camera. Anyway, so this is the body. Nude. It's a pretty crude little thing. That's all right. Don't even know if this is wood. Oh no, it's wood. Looks kind of like plywood, but I think that's just the CNC. No, it's proper wood. That's pretty good. I mean, if you bought one of these things, it's got a lot of room in there. If you wanted to put crazy pickups in, and oh dear, so this is one of those cheapy switches. I wasn't expecting anything else, but yeah, that's going to go. So we'll just replace that switch. Actually, I'll just cut it off. Note, if you can see what I'm doing, which you probably can't because my hands are in the way, I am cutting the pickup leads, and I am cutting them at the longest point. Do not cut a pickup lead at the pickup. It's really annoying. Rant over. So that's the pickups. They're generic. They're marked neck and bridge, and that's about it. You could do better, but we're not going to do better. We're going to keep this as it is and make the best of it. It might be cool. We will see. I might go ahead and shield this. I don't know. I've got some really thin copper sheet at the moment, and I think it's quite good. Some of it, I live in Brisbane, and a lot of my customers live in Brisbane or Queensland, and it gets pretty hot in here, hot and sweaty. So using adhesive foil inside a guitar is kind of a bad idea. And then you go and play interstate, and it's freezing, and it's this weird heat cycle. You know, you aircon and humid, and adhesive just sort of fails. So a lot of the time I go for the paint, the shielding paint, which just sort of lasts a bit better. It's less good at shielding, but it's a bit more robust in the general scheme of things. That's my thoughts on it anyway. Feel free to disagree. I will probably use shielded runs of wire anyway. But, you know, sometimes it's nice for people to open up a guitar and see it all shielded. And maybe you people want to see me do it. Don't know. You tell me, people. But that's good. I'm feeling slightly better about this guitar. I was a bit worried. So next time, I'm gonna do this bridge thing. I'm gonna put this back on with the pickups in it, so I can see where the pickup poles will be. I'm gonna get that bridge on, and maybe I'll show you that. I'm gonna see if this camera thing worked, or any of this audio came out at all. And then we'll go from there, I guess. So, I mean, is this something that you would do yourself? I'm not sure. Probably. If you got one of these guitars, and if you're looking for some sort of honest review of if these guitars are good, so like good is a sliding scale, right? P.S. I'm putting on 2 of the pickguard screws to hold this assembly back on, not with the drill, with a normal screwdriver. Yeah, if you wanted to know my honest opinion, we'll see. That's my honest opinion. We'll see how this goes. I really think it's pretty good. For the price, it's awesome, to be honest. I had one of my mates up here playing it a couple of days ago. He thought it was good. I mean, apart from the setup, and you do have to get it set up, and, you know, there are some tweaks, but there's tweaks with everything. So honestly, I'd get one. I did. I got this one. And it's not too bad. And I think it'll make somebody happy. And that's the point, right? So, and I might actually just get a bit of oil on this fretboard. It's super dry. This is what is this? Laurel. It's very open grain, and it's quite nice looking. I think it's just, you know, I could tell you about an interesting study I did not long ago about fretboard materials, but I won't. Maybe later. Essentially, when rosewood was illegal, they spent a lot of time and money exploring other options, and, you know, maybe this is one of them. Maybe it's because they just had heaps of it lying around, and they thought, that's brown, I'm going to use that. It doesn't seem awful, but, you know, $300, can't complain. All right, I'm going to go do some work. Sorry, this is not very educational, but we'll see. We'll crack on. I'm going to see if this camera thing worked. Thank you, Brendan. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe it's just going to make my gut look massive. Who knows? It's probably not even on. and I'm just talking into the void. Anyway, that'll do for today. We'll crack on with this in a few more days or next week when I have some time, and I'll get on to all my other customers' jobs. Good chat.